Ah, theme parks. One of the only places on Earth where humans will spend their own money for the privilege of standing in line for 3 hours under the sweltering sun for a 2-minute experience simulating the sensation of certain death. And they'll walk away with a smile. Hello everybody and welcome to Pravus Gaming and Planet Coaster, a game that I would say is in many ways the spiritual successor to the Roller Coaster Tycoon franchise. It is tremendously fun for a park management game, and, considering I just got back from a vacation at arguably the most famous theme park in the world, Disney World, I thought, you know what, this is the perfect opportunity to play some Planet Coaster. Been meaning to do it for a while, so we are going to. Look at all these featured creators with their hilarious crowns. This game actually has a tremendous modding community with some very, very talented and creative people, and for that reason alone, the game is awesome. But let's go ahead and play a challenge mode. There is, of course, a career, a sandbox, and challenge. I don't want to have a total free pass in sandbox, and I don't want to be limited by a career. So we're going to start from scratch with a brand new park, but it's not going to be super duper easy. We're going to have to research our own new rides. We're going to start with limited funds, and so on. It's going to be great. There are several different map types we could pick from. I'm naturally drawn to the desert, but I think we will go ahead and pick, let's go ahead and pick the Alpine region. I like Alpine. We could play on hard difficulty, but to be honest, you start with so little cash. It's not impossible. I could definitely do it, but then you're just building one merry-go-round and then waiting for like an hour to get enough funds to actually do anything else. So just for the sake of expediency, we'll play on medium, though I could play on a little bit harder. All right, let's start up a new game and enjoy some Planet Coaster. Ah, here we are. It's beautiful and expansive. Look at all this free open space that we get to use. The maps are beautiful. Graphics are great. Not too real to be like Uncanny Valley territory. Characters in particular are a little bit cartoony, but overall, it looks so good. And there's so many good rides, and you can ride every single one of them in first-person mode. I love it. Now, obviously, starting off, we're going to need to place down some basic rides, and we're not going to have a whole lot to work with. We do have Insanity, which is kind of a double inverter, Cycola, teacup rides, oh, those are vomit-inducing if there ever was anything, Venetian Carousel, the Whirly Rig, and the Wild Blue. You can see that every ride does have an excitement, a fear, and a nausea value. Generally, you want to have as much excitement as possible, kind of middle of the road for fear, unless it's a gentle ride intended for kids, and relatively low nausea values. We'll research more of these as time goes on. If we did have access to some DLC, which I have not purchased because I'm a cheapskate, we could access a whole lot more from the get-go, but we haven't done that yet. Track rides, we do also have some boats and some cars. I do have a quick draw DLC. That's all pretty fun. Ooh, river rapids. I like seeing those. And of course, the glorious coasters, which are very expensive if you're going to get anything really good. And I have downloaded quite a few off of the Steam Workshop, because I'm not kidding when I say there are some tremendously impressive rides available on the Steam Workshop right now. They're expensive in-game, but boy howdy, you can't tell me that doesn't look really cool. That is a person's creation right there. So, and not paid by the developers. I love it. All right, we're going to go ahead and place down a couple of rides. Let's start with something pretty middle of the road. The Insanity does have an unpleasantly high nausea factor, but a good healthy dose of fear to remind people to pray before they go to bed every night. So we're going to place this little thing right over, I don't know, maybe right along here, I guess. I don't want to be too close to the entrance because I may want to place a bunch of shops there and stuff, but we'll do a ride kind of like that, right there. Okay. Now, in order to make this work, of course, we're going to have to place down an entrance. I want to have something relatively close to all the cars so people can access it quickly, and we can file people in and out of there rather quickly. And then, let's see, we'll need to place down some pathing. You can change the width and the length of your pathing. You can see here I made a pretty wide entrance just because I imagine there's going to be a lot of traffic and you don't want to have people kind of jammed up in a tight corridor. But at least for an exit to a ride, something relatively minor here should be fine. We could do something like this if we really wanted to, and that would be just fine too. Yeah, we'll do something kind of like this. I like using curvature in this game. It's a lot better than some of the old Roller Coaster Tycoons with a very grid-based pattern. You can make things feel a little bit more organic and realistic in this particular game. Gotta love Planet Coaster for that reason. We'll do a simple bricked queue path because I think it looks pretty nice. And then, as everyone knows, queues have to be deceptively long, kind of curving in upon themselves, so that you think you're getting really close to the entrance, but no, you're not actually close to the entrance. You got another 30 minutes of waiting to go. That's how theme parks are supposed to work. We'll do something just like this. There we go. And of course, I'm going to want to place down some scenery. Something like this should certainly help a little bit, just to beautify the area. Also apply a little bit of shade. Not that I think it really matters in the game per se, but I mean, having stood in a bunch of lines rather recently, I can tell you shade is horribly underestimated. Anyway, it beautifies the path a little bit, makes people more willing to queue. You can also place down some props and other special effects. Those tend to be pretty fun. People tend to like that sort of thing a lot, but we don't have any research, so I'm going to have to use good old-fashioned Mother Nature for the time being. All right, so for our ride, Insanity 2, for some reason, I'm going to go ahead and raise up the ticket price because new rides tend to draw a lot of extra attention, and people are willing to pay a premium to ride on them. Could customize the ride color, could change up the operations. I don't want to have people waiting for any more than, let's say, 90 seconds to get on there, with at least half a load if possible. We could change up the sequence as well, make this ride longer, shorter, you know, you name it, whatever you want. But for now, I think the default should be just fine. We're going to go ahead and open up the ride, unpause. There it is. Brand new opening for a ride. Awesome. All right, where's all the people? Aha, here come some of the people. Wait, I should double check. Am I charging people to get into the park? As of right now, no, I am not charging anyone a flat fee to get into the park. They have to pay on a per-ride basis, which I find is often pretty good at the beginning of the game, though as you progress, you're going to want to start charging people a lot of money just for the privilege of entering into your beautiful, beautiful park. All right, here come the people. Look at all the happy-dappy customers. They're thrilled. Should also make sure that we are placing down a few benches because if people do get a little nauseous, we want to give them an area to sit down. Anyway, so I've spent almost all my money, and this is all I've got to show for it. One ride with a few trees. I really hope that this pays for itself eventually. You guys want to ride the ride? I kind of want to ride the ride. Let's go ahead and hop into a camera. Like this. There we go. Oh, somebody's seeing something. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Okay. Yeah, this is a little scary. Mostly just blue sky everywhere as far as you can see, but yeah, there we go. Oh, man. Now, see, I'm a coward when it comes to theme parks. I actually have a very distinct phobia of roller coasters that I've only recently been trying to overcome with my wife. So, rides like this, you know, even if it's not a roller coaster, would probably have really upset me growing up. But, you know, I'll report to you guys I was brave in this last vacation. I had a very good time, shockingly. But, yeah, that's pretty severe right there. Yeah, look at that hang time. Look at that hang time. Oh, if these guys aren't feeling terrified, then I don't know what's going to scare them. Of course, we are making a pretty good amount of money right now, but if we want to really kickstart this park, we're going to need a lot more than this. So what I think we need to do is go to park management and probably take out a loan, at least of, let's see. You know, a $3,000 loan at 18% interest is just not good enough. I think we'll take the $10,000 loan at 20% interest. And yeah, it's going to cost me a lot. No, I cannot afford to pay a whopping $1,500 a month, although for some reason it thinks I can afford $1,000. Oh my gosh. Well, this is gonna suck. Okay, $10,000 it is. Let's see if we can make this work. Now, it might be a tad aggressive, but placing down an early roller coaster actually doesn't seem like that bad of a cash generator, especially with the madness, which comes preloaded into the game. An excitement value of 5.96 isn't absolutely stellar, but for the price of $3,700, that's not bad as far as coasters are concerned. So if I place it, let's say, we'll probably want to do something a bit more this way to be a bit more space efficient. Something kind of close to the park entrance. Get people a little on the excited side, yeah? And then let's raise it up a tiny bit like so. There we go. That's what we're looking for. Okay, we're going to place down a roller coaster. And hopefully this guy is going to end up paying for itself. Okay, something like that looks pretty nice. Maybe a tiny bit chaotic, but it's all the scenery I've got to work with at the moment. Now, I don't have the ability to open up the ride quite yet. We would need to run a test first, though one thing I would like to do on this ride is add in an extra train, so we'll have 3 of those running at any given time, just increasing the capacity I have at any given moment, kind of cycle through our visitors a little bit faster, get that money going a little bit sooner as well. Maximum wait time shouldn't be more than, let's say, 95 seconds. I'm going to shoot for a full load if possible, but we'll go for the 3/4. If at the very least, make sure we're getting a pretty good amount of people through at any given time. There is a priority pass option if you want to have people pay to skip a lot of the queue, and that's a pretty sneaky way of making some extra money. But we're not quite there yet. In the meantime, let's go ahead and test out the ride. And you know what? When testing, it's a perfect opportunity just to go ahead and ride the dang thing. So let's unpause. There we go. And let's actually enjoy the ride. There we go. Look at this. Oh, it's so sophisticated. So cool. Bye. All right. Up we go. Oh, gosh. Even simulating this gives me a tiny bit of anxiety. I'm a total coward, I'm not even kidding. But I've learned to appreciate them at least a little bit for what they are. And the funny thing is, despite the fact that I was terrified of roller coasters ever since I was a little kiddo, I always enjoyed playing things like Roller Coaster Tycoon. Because, I don't know, I guess it's a way of conquering my fear, or at least the mathematics behind roller coasters are pretty awesome. Loop-de-loop. There we go. Yeah, I don't know. I've always enjoyed it. I've always had a fascination. It's the only reason that I've actually had the courage to actually try them. This one's pretty nice. It's not too complicated, but you can see it's got some good angled bank turns and stuff to it to make sure that the nausea factor is relatively minor. So that's always nice. Keep the intensity down a little bit, but some pretty solid drops there. Nothing outrageously complicated, though. Let's go ahead and open this thing. And yeah, I'm going to charge people $11 to ride my roller coaster. You better believe it. And look at all these suckers lining up to pay it. Beautiful. Now, we need to be increasing our cash flow a fair bit more because I'm still running on a loan that's, you know, pretty expensive. I'm going to be paying that off as time goes on, and we don't have enough cash flow to manage a staff or any, let's say, food and drink and so on. So at least one more ride, I would say, is an absolute necessity. Gentle rides, I mean, they're good for kids and stuff, but really, they're not the money generators. We probably want to go for something like Psychola. Maybe Wild Blue. Wild Blue seems to have better stats, but I also know it doesn't house a lot of riders for every cycle, so Psychola is probably a better value for us right now. So we're going to go ahead and place this thing down. Does it fit any particular theme? No, but we haven't researched enough stuff that I can have the luxury of a very themed ride right now. Let's rotate this guy around, kind of like this probably, and we'll try to make use of a lot of the scenery for the same entrance and queue line if at all possible, and also let them listen to the delicious screams of all of the roller coaster riders so they get hyped up about going on a second time and paying $11. You know? Let's go ahead and place down the exit like so. We're going to need to connect up a quick entrance. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and do, let's say, a blue path this time around just for funsies. And we'll go around this way. Whoops. Down over here. Kind of want it to circle in on itself a little bit, snake around some of these trees. Again, we could be placing down some really scenic props and stuff if we wanted to, and that is always kind of fun, but they're a little bit expensive to maintain. Something like this is the best looking queue I've ever made. No, not at all, but we're going to do it anyway. And let's place down a quick little exit right over here. Try to join some of this up. Beautiful. I think one of the things that makes me happier about this game than it probably should is just placing down all the trees and stuff. It kind of reminds me of placing down good parks and stuff in city skylines. Remember how into that I was? Same kind of concept. Now, of course, I can't really see a lot of what's going on in here, so maybe I've overdone it, but I don't know. It looks pretty natural and organic to me. The trick is diversity of plants. Now, so far we managed to get away with building up this tiny little park without any staff. We are going to have to change that soon, but I definitely want to meet some of my other guests' needs. So if we go to park management here, we can look at the guests. And for the most part, they're actually pretty satisfied. But we know they're going to need to have a toilet pretty soon. They're going to want to get some food and some drink in them, so on and so forth. So it would behoove us probably to set up a few shops and facilities if at all possible. We could take the blueprint right here. Quite a few options, including the absolutely terrifying Bozo the Clown park entrance and bathroom thing. That looks horrible. No, we're not going to place that down at all. Some of these buildings do come like pre-themed up, so we could do something like this right here for our bathrooms, which is nice. It looks great, and it makes people happy because it looks very thematic. Alternatively, we could just place down these. It doesn't look as good, but it only costs $200 as opposed to a few hundred, and considering we're this early on in the park's development, I think we're going to have to make do with something like this. So let's go ahead and set up a quick little food court / shopping kind of area with some toilets and an ATM, if at all possible. Ooh, we haven't researched that yet. Never mind. Just so we can meet everybody's needs and keep them in the park longer to keep spending money and rewriting all of the rides. There we go. Nice little area like this, using some of the existing theming rather than, just placing down some ugly stalls. So we got a little bit of Chief Beef food over here and some Cosmic Cow milkshakes over here. That should do the job just fine. Like any park manager game, though, you're going to have to place down some benches, or alternatively, you could place down some picnic tables if you wanted to, but I don't think we're too worried about that at the moment. Let's just place down a few park benches right here. Maybe something right over here. Enjoy some of that scenery. Show off the food to everyone who walks by. It's delicious. Please eat at Chief Beef, please. I need the money. And then we'll place down a little bin right over here, and then another one right over here, and so on. Okay, perfect. So we'll open these up. Now, unlike in some other games, every one of these shops actually is going to have some staff associated with them that we are going to have to train and pay, and they can absolutely be getting overloaded. So we can go to the park management tab here and take a look at the staff. These are all the different people that we could be hiring if we wanted to, and we will need to do that pretty soon. Alternatively, let's look over here at all staff, and you can see exactly what they're thinking. They think they're paid what they're worth right now, so they're relatively happy. They are running a little bit low on energy, though. So at some point, we are going to have to address some of that and probably give them a place to just kind of kick back and relax a teensy-weensy bit. Let's look at staff management. There is a big staff building, but that's a little more expensive than I think I'm willing to pay right now. So how about just a quick little staff building? It's nothing fancy, but to be frank, at this point, they don't deserve anything fancy. We'll just place one right over here, tucked away in the corner. And that way, if they need to go and rest up, they are able to do so, hopefully, relatively quickly. You know, we actually have enough money. We could totally afford to place down another ride. Let's go ahead and do the teacups. I mean, yeah, it's huge and probably not that exciting, but even so, kiddos will love to go on it. It's a bit more family-friendly. So we're going to place one right there, for example. Let's place down a quick entrance over this way, place an exit right next to the pathing so that that's not going to be much of an issue. And yeah, this will keep our kids occupied for a bit so the parents can go and sit back on the benches and take a breather. There we go. It looks lovely. Okay, we'll charge people a whopping $6 to ride on this stupid teacups. Again, like I said, you pay for the privilege of vomiting all over my park. Now, we are starting to get to the point where I'm going to wish that I had somebody wandering around to repair these rides, keep the park clean, and so on. So let's go back to the staff. These guys are indeed running really low on energy. That's a bit of a problem, but okay. Let's place down a janitor. Let's say one right there should be just fine. I wouldn't mind also having a mechanic, so let's place one down there. And then we'll also want to have a security guard because pickpocketing absolutely is a thing in this game. People will get robbed all the dang time. And you want to try to catch those people and resolve the crimes, otherwise your park rating is going to suffer. But now we're going to start seeing that our park operation costs are going to be going up a lot because there's just so many people that we are going to have to pay. Now, I don't really feel like we have enough cash reserves to be placing down, say, the Boom Boat, which is a giant water ride. As cool as it is, I just don't think it's a good investment at the moment. Can't really afford something like Whitewater either, so we're probably going to want to start researching some new rides, and that's where the research tab comes in handy. We'll open up the research now. Let's see, do we want to research some specific rides? Like something called All About Airtime or Dangling Delights Free Spinning? I don't think these are actually specific rides. I think they're just kind of giving you a hint as to what you will be unlocking. Runaway Coaster? Okay, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that actually is something specific. Could be kind of nice. It would, however, cost us somewhere between $3,000 and $4,500 to research, which kind of sucks. Festive Expedition for a track ride. We could go for a family ride, rock out with the family. Alternatively, a couple of other thrill rides. Those are usually a lot cheaper to research, and since thrill rides tend to be your bread and butter, I like to focus on those if possible. I do want to research an ATM. Very cheap to research, but this is what's going to allow people to keep drawing money out into the park so they can stay in here a little bit longer. We could also research, let's say, a hotel or some small attractions or maybe even a restaurant, which wouldn't be so bad either. Alternatively, just hats, you know? People like to buy things. Souvenirs and stuff. Sure, let's go ahead and research the hats. And then a crazy classic. There we go. Now, of course, this is going to cost me a fair chunk of money per month, but it's going to open up a lot of absolutely needed options so we can continue using this cash to actually continue sustaining our efforts going forward without going into bankruptcy. Okay, now we've run into a small issue where some of our shops don't actually have any vendors because they're all off taking a break, the lazy little boogers. Now, the funny thing is, in career mode, at least in some of the levels, you don't even have to worry about any of this. So, let's see. They're currently heading to the shop. They're resting in the staff building. Yeah, I mean, in theory, they'll be getting back to work pretty soon, so maybe we'll be okay. But this might be a good excuse to actually spend some money to train them so that they're not only effective and serve the customers faster, but hopefully don't lose their energy quite as quickly either. We're going to give them a corresponding pay raise as well to make sure that they stay nice and happy. Okay, they're actually getting paid a little bit too much. You know what? You get a demotion. Enjoy some of that. Looks like too many people are trying to buy milkshakes. You know what that means? It means you raise the prices. People get priced out. Not enough people are consuming milkshakes. It reduces consumption. Suckers. And even if it doesn't, it just means more money for me. When the demand is high and the supply is low, the prices will rise. We're about to finish up with some of our research. There it is. Hat's fantastic, and the ATM is ready to go. Cool. Let's reveal those researches. Boom. It looks so cute. All right, reveal that one, too. Perfect. All right, we'll have to place down some ATMs and make sure that people keep withdrawing more money to spend in my park because you aren't spending enough. Gosh, dang it all to heck. All right, let's see. ATM. Now, this thing's going to be pretty small, so we don't have to worry about too much. I'll just place it, let's say, probably right over here-ish to be somewhat space efficient. Perfect. All right, doesn't take a lot to build and upload that thing. Anyway, and then we go to the gifts. Hat shop, you know... Wait, no, I don't want to place it... No, I don't want to place it on that same building. There we go. Okay. We can rotate you around. You know... I could place it in the same area, and that would look okay, I suppose. Alternatively, is there somewhere else that we would like to place this thing? How about right along over here-ish? Okay. And then we'll just join the pathing up together, and it's going to create a nice little island instead. That looks pretty good. Maybe not quite like that, though. Hang on. I'll get this. Give me a second. No, it's ugly. There we go. I think that looks pretty good. Okay. I love it. The park is coming together, guys. Man, and it just runs like freaking silk. Look at this. So smooth. I love it. Oh, cool. I got an achievement. Rise to the challenge. Sweet. I completed a challenge. What did I complete? Ensure no staff leaves for 2 months. Oh, good. No one quit. I get some free money because no one quit. Awesome. You know, we might need to hire ourselves an extra vendor just to be absolutely sure nothing bad happens. He's going to have nothing to do at this exact moment in time, but that's perfectly fine. I'm just trying to make sure that my buildings don't have an unnecessary amount of downtime. Let's pay him a little bit more, even though he's doing absolutely nothing helpful. There we go. Many guests are thirsty. Oh, no. Whatever shall we do? Obviously, we need more milkshakes. Alternatively, we could go and research something new just so I have a bit of extra variety in the park. How about a gulpy? Who doesn't like gulpies? Gulpies are good. Ah, good. We can unlock a new thrill ride. What are we going to get? We get the kickflip. Oh, it is indeed a classic. I happen to know that this one also usually ends up being pretty darn popular. Let's go ahead and place one of those down. We do have a little bit of cash available. Let's see, kickflip. You guys remember this thing? I don't know why I always called them like the giant zipper or something like that growing up. I have absolutely no idea what would have possessed me to do such a thing, but I did. Let's see. Where am I going to place this? If we want to be space efficient, we could put them kind of close to the inverter over here. That wouldn't be such a bad idea. And then if we do, you know what, let's do something kind of like this, a little bit off-center. And then we'll place an entrance over here so that the queue can go that way. And an exit right next to all the shops and food so that they feel inclined to spend their money. There we go. Another ride to please the masses. It probably would help if it was open. It is open. Well, then why is no one going to the ride? Hello? I opened up something new for you people. You should probably go and use it. There we go. We got our first victim. I mean customer. Few challenges. Have 20 people visit a hotel. They really want me to build hotels, don't they? I don't think we're nearly large enough to justify any hotels, so I'm just going to have to ignore that, probably. Let's see. We do have some more research currently available. The Gulpy, okay, for some extra drinking potential. Nothing really fancy. It's just another little brick building, but, I mean, hey, it'll do the job, certainly. Pip Shot, I don't even know what that is. Do we want to research things like the restaurant? You know, let's research a small attraction. I actually have never used these, but we probably should. And then maybe compressed air swinging into action could be good. Or maybe we actually could use another good family ride. You know what? We're going to go for another family ride. Hey, we caught a thief! Let's go look at the thief. There he goes. Caught by security. Change your ways. Oh, we all know that that's just a lie. Shauna. You're going to keep thieving until the day you die. Well, frickin' heck, tell me that doesn't look cool. Look at this. This is how we can sell our Gulpy with a giant evil-looking tree? Dang. I'm not sure we need that right now, but we're going to have to place that down in the park at some point because that looks pretty darn awesome. All right, we're going to go ahead and call this video here. I don't know how long this video is going to end up being just because I will be using jump cuts. But, you know, I don't want these videos to go on for outrageously long. We'll continue building out on the park and see just how far we can get. But thank you all very much for watching. I hope you're as excited about this series as I am. If so, then I would ask you to hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.